Anybody could cheat and do whatever that is, but I think the interesting nature of the match comes from putting Ronda, if she's a babyface, if you're to perceive her as fighting from underneath, you got to stack the odds on her, which means 2 against 1 should have been how this was promoted. But again, I'm not doing the promoting. Vince McMahon is, so we'll see how this one plays out.
So you're picking Ronda Rousey probably to win this one?
I think all roads lead eventually to Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Will Charlotte Flair be the women's champion on the SmackDown side and her Raw? I'm not quite sure. I would put money on Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble in Phoenix when it comes to who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble in January, and then I see her challenging Ronda. That's where I think it leads. So I don't picture Ronda losing between now and WrestleMania.
All right. Well, there you've heard it. MC's mouth to the listener's ears. He's got Ronda Rousey taking this, and it's going to take it all the way, even though I believe she's pretty sloppy in the ring, and I'm more worried about the safety of the wrestlers going against her. So this has been Me Podcast. You listen. Go ahead, MC. You got something to say?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, not a lot of training behind her. You got to remember that. So I know, it's going to take her some time to own her craft. Her actually, I know we're wrapping this up, but her actually a big plug to her 4 horsewoman in UFC's one. Shayna Baszler's actually come a lot, further. She had been wrestling longer than Ronda has, and I think the more Ronda, I think, sticks with this, and hopefully she is in this long term, and I believe it was the 3-year deal that they said she'll get better. If Baszler is any indication of what a UFC fighter transition who puts 100% all into this new craft and new sport she's in and professional wrestling, then Ronda will get better. I know your points are valid, and I know she's got some work to go, but if she has enough time as Baszler has spent to own her craft, Ronda will just get better. I see the sky's the limit for her, and she will.
All right. Well, my suggestion's back to the cage, busting women's noses and breaking arms. All right. This has been Me Podcast. You listen.
All right,
It's been Jester, and thanks for hanging out with me, MC. And again, catch us next week when we discuss. Looks like we're going to talk about our NFL fantasy football program and how we're disappointed we are, but also a little news around the NFL and kind of touch base on that as we talk about everything here on Me Podcast. You listen. Again, this is Jester.
MC, yeah, we definitely will not have any shortage of NFL talk, especially you being a Raiders fan and me being a Bears fan. You can expect some good stuff from there as well.
Thank you for listening to Me Podcast You Listen with MC and Jester. Please follow us on Facebook at Me Podcast You Listen, also on Instagram at Me Podcast You Listen, and Twitter at Me Podcast You List. Music provided by Tim Triplett. Please follow Tim Triplett's band, Tripp at HardyMusic.com.